Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to be working on Central Park, pruning it up. This might take a while, but there is something I wanted to do before I got to this one. Let me set that up and we'll be right back. This is my dwarf Schefflera, which I partially defoliated in a video a few weeks ago. The reason I have this out again is just to give you a sense of the progress, to talk about the cool nature of the leaf petioles, which dry up and fall off. So you can always prune to a leaf petiole when they're ready to go. All you got to do is touch them and they fall off. These are not ready yet, but it's doing very well. This particular plant, not in this pot, I had seen some pots on Facebook Marketplace, some bonsai pots, and the price was reasonable, so I put in a bid. But before I did, I called my niece to see if she would be willing to pick them up. Since the auction was nowhere near me, didn't really want to have these things shipped, but it was in my niece's hometown. So she picked up the pots, and to my surprise, there was a plant in one of the pots, this clump, which was much larger and much more lush. I'm working on a styling for this tree that I hope I get to one day. Anyway, she took care of it for quite a few months, maybe even a year before we saw her, and she delivered the tree to me. She had professed to be very bad with plants. I think she surprised herself with how well she took care of it. Okay, the next part of my story is also quite interesting. Her son, Ronan, has taken an interest in bonsai, and this happened suddenly. We were there for a visit around the end of May, right on Memorial Day, which we do every year. We have done every year. And we got to talking, Ronan and I, and we were talking about plants and trees, and I mentioned bonsai, and I don't think he really knew what it was, but I told him I had a YouTube channel and we watched one of my videos, a video that placed a rock in the scene. It was the landscape challenge, and was very interested in that. And you know, we had talks about seeds. We went out looking for seeds, but when he watched the video, he excused himself and went off outside, and he said he wanted to bring me something, and he brought me this beautiful quartz rock. He seems to have a rock collection, and I thought it would look great in the back of this planting, and I wanted to place it today, let Ronan see what I'm doing with it. Now Ronan, if I were doing this right and was able to spend the time, you know what, I have it wrong. This goes like this. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I'm going to bury it a little deeper. And if I had the time, I would move the planting over to the left so you could see the rock more. But for now, I'm going to put it there. And he gave me another one, a bigger one, that I'm going to crack open when I get a little more time. But Ronan, I wanted you to see that I was doing this, and I wanted to do it in front of you. So what I propose, that's why I had this moved over, is that I will just remove some of the soil back here and let it drop on this tray that's below this. And the reason I'm doing this is to bury the rock a little bit, and I'll adjust that as I go along. I'll reuse this bonsai soil, and I may even add some more to the planting because it's getting a little low and could stand to be topped off. All right, let's see where that puts the rock. Oh, I'm liking that. Ronan, I hope you can see this. I think I just want to put it there a little bit more. All right, I'm liking this a lot. So Ronan is going into first grade or second grade? Oh gosh, Ronan, I'm sorry, I forgot. I will correct that. And the correct grade that you will be entering will be inserted in this video magically above the screen. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. Oh, Ronan, thanks so much. I really appreciate this. And I hope your interest in bonsai grows, because I got a lot to teach you. And I hope you can spend some time here with me doing this if you want. And maybe your friends are interested in bonsai. You never know. You can have those friends. They're usually the cool kids. But the other cool kids may not think so. But I always did. The kids who think they're cool. You know who they are. Anyway, I'm going to add a little bit more bonsai to the top of this thing. Bonsai soil, rather, to the top of this planting. I love the new addition. I thank you very much, Ronan. Now I'm going to move on to the next part of this video. So today it's time to tame Central Park. I'm going to take these little baskets out. I'll put them back. I think, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I had this on the floor when I was doing that other segment, and Luca had made his way to this planting, and he has once before taken and eaten the cups and the biogold inside. But I think we made it out okay. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we made it out okay. All right, today I want to prune this baby up. It is out of hand. What do I like about it? What don't I like about it? Well, first of all, this was my first attempt at moss over muck. Also, my first attempt at a planter integrated into the planting. I'm leaving this area dry for a reason. bottom part. So this one had 3 planters in it. This is my first experience with setting rocks in concrete. In this type of setting. And something went to seed in there, which is what I had hoped. Let me get a close-up of that. If you can see that, might be a little pixelated, but something went to seed in there, which is great. That's what I want, and I'll try and control that. There are some errant little sprouts in other places, which I'm going to have to pluck out. But that's not the intent of this video this time. Let me explain that while this guy is still walking right here, I found his friend. They haven't met up yet. He was on the other side of the park. I found his friend belly up on this walkway. All right, let me zoom back out. All right, so where I wanted to start was right here. I had put a wire on this tree because it was leaning and I needed to straighten it out, which I've done, I believe. And let's see if I can't unwiden this wire without cutting it. I really don't want it to bite. You know what? I'm gonna cut it because if I were to slip, I'd never forgive myself. No bite. No bite yet. Oh. Wire bite. You know, it's my own damn fault. Hope there isn't much more of that. This is my favorite view too. So Ronan, you see that spiral? Not the one here, but the one right here. That's what happens when you leave the wire on the tree too long. I think I did this in February, March, April, May, June. 4 months. Wow. All right, Ronan, if you're into bonsai, this is an important fact. You gotta watch out for how long your wire is attached. I'm gonna be digging this out. Seems to be holding. Maybe I'm not digging it out entirely. So let's see what I did here. I don't even remember. This was going to be root over rock. The rock ends here, or right about here, and the root goes down into a pit. And I want to remove the moss and kind of inspect what's going on here. I put sphagnum moss underneath this, and I had forgotten I'd done that. It's always a new adventure when it's like an excavation, like a Where's Waldo. What did I do? Who remembers? I don't want to knock over my little man. I haven't named him. This is the guy with the backpack. He's kind of cool. Oh yeah, and there's a wire on top of the roots too. So the next caution there would be, what's going on with that? How has that impacted the roots that I wanted to be exposed? I'm gonna get a little brush. Okay, I've cleaned this area out. I discovered some surface roots, which I tucked back in, giving this area a little wash. This is not ready to be uncovered yet, but I promise as soon as it is, I'll show it to you. I'm also hoping roots have developed toward the rear here. I did get some comments that I should have sat this further back on the rock, but there was a kick in the structure which made it perfect for right at the end here. So I'm just hoping this develops nicely. All right, let's move on to the real reason I'm here, and that's the canopy. One of the things I like most about this planting is the sun dappling. Right now the sun is going through a lot of leaves, but I'm hoping to thin that out a little bit today and get down to shaping these trees the way I have in my mind they should look. All right, where do I start? You'll notice this tree is still leaning. So I may want to figure out a different way of pulling that forward. It'll be fighting against this for a while this is still there, but I do need to correct that, and I'll be pruning with that in mind. All right, so what I know about pruning Chinese elm is that you want to continually reduce the leaf size. If you peer into this canopy, and I apologize for the noise, but this is what it's like somewhere in my little city here. I've got new growth right here. And it's hardened off below it. And I've pruned. I pruned to there before, and it is growing in this direction. I want to continue that in this direction. So I'm going to take this leaf off. So it should take another turn that way and down. And that little piece I just took off will dry up and go away. Look at the size of the leaves down here. Now, I still want this to grow over the walkway, but I may want it to lean in that way a bit. So I'm going to take it down to here, and the next flush of growth should come this way. And even if that next flush of growth is next year, I don't think that was a mistake. This one, I think I want to grow in this direction. The leaves are already tiny. That does it for this side of the tree. Okay, moving up. I think, where did I last prune this? I pruned it back here. And this is all this year's growth. So I'm going to go to here, which is the first set of new leaves on this branch. I like that. And am I going to leave this? I think I want to leave this. But I'd like it to grow up. And here's an opportunity for it to grow up right there. This branch is way too long. I want it to start growing out this way. My last pruning was here. I'm going to prune it to the first. Well, that might not be a reliable bud if I'm remembering my lesson correctly. So I'm going to prune it to this one. If you recall, interference was a big part of my pruning last time. And there is some interference happening here. And it will continue to happen unless I do something about it. I want this to grow outward. So I'm going to prune it to there, and I should be getting more growth in this direction. You can see it needed some water. So this tree should react very well to what I did there before. This one I want to grow outward that way. So this leaf now should send out a shoot more in that direction. So I've got 3 more branches that need pruning, and then I need to selectively prune some others. This one's growing in toward the inside of the tree. I think that should come out entirely. I should have a finer scissors for that, but I chose this one. What do I want to happen here? I want it to grow out. So this could be my apex right here. And this, I want to grow in this direction, which will give this the ability to get some sunlight. Here. Yeah. Okay, so I am going to lean this tree over a little. Haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do that yet. But I will. All right. There's a branch here that just grows into that other tree. I don't think I need it. It'll let a lot more light down into the park. And this branch just crosses a bunch of other branches and culminates as an interfering branch. But look at those nice tiny leaves. So, I said this was my apex. Maybe it's secondary. There's an outward facing leaf here, just 2 down. And that's where this tree needs to be. This branch I like, but I want it to come more this way. And What's happening here? Where does that come from? That's just a weird branch. I'm going to take that section off. Okay, I think this tree is pruned up. What did I say about this? I didn't say anything about it. But I want it to come this way more. So I'll take it down to there. This one, I want to grow this way more. So I'll take it down to there. And I'm going to try and start to develop the canopy more on that side. Even though it requires some straightening up. And I'm not really sure how to do that yet. But I'm repeating myself. Okay. That tree's pruned up. Where is it? Look, there's another branch here. I want to grow in that direction. Okay. But maybe I want to bring it a little further back. Yeah, that's nice. That's looking down on this tree. Let me get back to the panoramic view. And in this view, you can really see the height differential. And this tree will be about this high. These will be about the same, and will come down to this tree and this tree on this side. It won't be quite as low as that one. I'm trying to imagine what this would have been like had I left that wire on just a little longer. It's going to take a long time for that to grow out, but it will grow out. It will grow out. I'm going to get another lavalier mic because it does get very noisy in this neighborhood. All right, working my way around. I'm going to get my better scissors for those tight spots. All right, this next tree, this one, I've got some good ramification happening just higher than this tree, and that's very good. So let me take a close look. Some of it's really close in, and that might end up being sacrificed. But let me just deal with this one branch here, lowest down. All right, it's growing over the top of this tree over here, and I'd like it to start growing in the other direction, but pretty far down. So it does that there. This branch just interferes entirely. I'm going to cut it off just so that everything is heading in an upward direction. I have some dry leaves there, so that may end up dying off. I'm going to take that off entirely. Okay, so this branch then, I want to start moving into the park. So the branch itself, it divides on the end of the branch. I think I'm going to take that one down further. It divides at the end of the branch kind of wide, and this end divides as well. I'm going to take this to here. Maybe further back. right, I want these lower leaves to get some light because that's where I want the tree to start being bushy. And you know, I want to train the lower leaves down. So I mentioned that this had good ramification up top, and I want to preserve that. I like the height of it. I had pruned it to here before, so this is all new growth. And this branch should come in this direction. Wow, I did get some ramification this time. I didn't think I would. So, this one should come this way, this one should... These kind of cross. So I'm going to take this one to here. And that should start growing in this direction. I'll take this one to here. And that should start growing in this direction. Do I need this branch at all? I don't. Yep. I don't. But I do need this one. And I want it to start growing that way. This one, I'm going to go way back on this one. Nope, that's the wrong way back. Since I wanted to grow in this direction, I had to go back to there. It's still taller than this tree. So what else is happening between the trees? I'm going to try not to trim the neighboring trees until I get to those trees. All right, this one I want to start growing out this way. This one I'm going to let keep going in an outward direction. If this part is not interesting enough to stick with it, then by all means go ahead. But if you can see what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, it's a very good lesson. I'm going to try and maintain this angle and zoom in just a bit. It's supposed to rain this afternoon, and I wanted to get at least this one pruned up. I may end up going into fast motion because you're seeing what I'm doing, and hopefully you're taking notes. Okay. All right, so this tree, this branch can continue to extend, but the internodes are getting quite long. So I'm going to take it back to the first leaf. Even though that internode is long, maybe the secondary growth, the tertiary growth off of that will be shorter. And this one, I want to start growing this way, but I don't like it being quite that high. I'm going to cut it there and take a look at it. That's not so bad. All right, this branch is coming from way down there, and this branch crosses it. So I'm going to take the crossing branch off entirely. want this to start growing out, so I'm going to prune it to here. This is from another tree, so don't pay it any mind, but I do have some branches on the inside here that need pruning back. There's an out and downward facing leaf there that should help this branch go down a little bit in that direction. I don't know if I want to keep this weak branch. There are actually 2 weak branches there. I think I'm going to, actually 3. I'm going to get them all. For the good of the tree, maybe not for the immediate aesthetics. And there's a branch way over here. I'm going to go down to the first leaf. Reduce that one back. And I'm going to leave all those interior leaves. I kind of like them. I'm going to take this one back yeah, I'm going to take this one back one more, which will change the direction of that branch more in this direction. And there. Okay. I'm hoping I continue to get more ramification. But if you can see the variance in leaf size right there, the smaller inner leaves and the larger outer leaves. I mean, this is an aesthetic that I want to keep building on. I don't like that this branch crosses in this direction. I'm going to take that back to here. Let's see what the tree gives me. Next tree. Or should I just work through this forest, this park landscape in fast motion? I think I'm going to do that. Pardon the musical interlude. All right, let's give this planting a spin and see what we like and don't like about it. All right, I think this tree might want to come down just a little bit to this leaf. I think I want to reduce this. Something outward, maybe it'll alleviate that interference. That shortens that tree a bit. This branch can come down to here. This I want to take back also. And I think that has Central Park pruned up. Let me think about how to straighten out this tree. All right, so the last part of this video will deal with straightening this tree out. If I don't do it now, and then it doesn't straighten out real well when I finally do it because I waited too long. That's a life lesson I don't want to have to learn. So what I did was I took this heavy wire, it's about, I don't know, 4 gauge or 4 millimeter. I still have a wire here, and I'm going to tie this down to it best I can. As tight as possible. That's about it. So let me cut that off. All right, that's tied down as tight as possible. Next, I want to straighten this wire so that it reflects where I want the tree to go. And I'm going to pull these two together and hope that the wire is stronger than the tree. I'll do it up here. Oops, wrong piece. Try not to trap any of the foliage. And I'm hoping that the wire is stronger than the tree and pulls it towards it. A couple leaves I got to take off that are going to be in the way. I don't want to lose this whole branch just yet. Is it working? Is it working? The wire is bending a little bit. But I think it's pretty good. Okay, that should stay nicely. I have it a little further over than straight. It's straight in that dimension. It's almost straight in this dimension. Yeah. I could attach it here as well for stability, but this is good. This is good. Keeping it like this. All right, so this has Central Park pruned up. Sorry it took so long. And just gonna cut that off like that. And that's it for Central Park. Thanks for keeping me company in my backyard.